Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Walking by Faith podcast. Today, I want to talk to you about my personal testimony of how I gave my life to Christ. This is something that I've never shared before, but this is something that God has put on my heart to share with you all because it is important to share with others of how you gave your life to Christ because it helps them make a decision on whether or not they want to give their lives to Christ. So, I gave my life to Christ back when I was 14 years old. And I grew up in church all of my life, but it wasn't until I really got deep into the Word of God and really just like surrendered my life to Him. That's when I really just started to like get serious with God. And it wasn't consistent throughout my teenage years because I still strayed away at times. Like at 15, I was doing very well spiritually. And I think 16, I was kind of doing well at 16, but I would say from 17 to 19, I don't think I was really that close to God as much as I should have been. But um, after my teenage years, I got back close to God, and ever since then, it's just been going up from there. But my personal testimony started when I was 14 years old, and I had a boyfriend at the time, and um, I invited him over without my parents' permission. I invited him over to my parents' house, and he came. I don't know how many times he came, but I think it was probably maybe 3 to 5 times that he came. And this is something that I'm even ashamed to say today because it's like, man, like, dang, I shouldn't have never done that. It was a total disrespect for my dad and my mom, but definitely my dad, because he was always overprotective, and he always wanted to make sure that I was protected from boys. Um, and my mom, she stressed on me at a very young age, don't have sex before marriage, don't have sex before marriage, and it always stuck with me, even when I didn't even know what sex was. Like, she just told me don't have sex before marriage, so it always stuck with me all the way up into my marriage. And I I didn't really know if I was a virgin or if I was still a virgin, because even though I technically haven't had sexual intercourse with anyone until I was married, I still did some things that were sexual. So I wasn't like the perfect virgin, if you know what I mean. But so I invited my ex-boyfriend, or I should say quote unquote boyfriend at the time, over. And he he was smoking weed, but he didn't smoke weed in the house. But he was a weed smoker, and he smelled like weed every time he came over. And I had to spray Febreze over the couch to get rid of the smell. And it was just really like, I don't know where my mind was at the time. I don't even know why I did that now that I think about it. Like, why did I decide to go against my parents' back to do something like that? That was just so disrespectful. Well, anyway, so my my aunt, she stayed right down the street from me, and she found out, like, she drove down the street, and the day that I got caught was the day that I got locked outside of the house. Like, my key was inside of the house, and we were riding home from school from the bus, and I found out that I couldn't even get inside of the door because my key was inside of the house. I left my key in the house, so I was locked out. So we were just standing outside, me, my cousin, and my, boyfriend at the time. And we were just standing outside, and I was just like, okay, like, what do we do? Like, are we just gonna be talking? Like, what are we doing here? Whatever. So we're just hanging out, and then all of a sudden, my aunt, and my uncle came riding down the street, and they saw me outside with the boy, with my boyfriend at the time. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I was like, okay, no problem. Like, we just outside, just chilling, we're just outside. Nothing personal or whatever. Well, anyway, my aunt ended up telling my mom about it, and my mom told my dad about him being outside or whatever. So they was trying to figure out like what was going on, like what happened. So my dad was already upset, but when I finally told them everything that happened, like I told them that he came over, he was inside of the house, and he came over when they were at work. My dad was so angry that he decided not to whoop me, because I still had whoopings at the time. But he was like, if I whoop you right now, you would probably be in the hospital. Like, you would probably be in the hospital right now. And that just hit me to the core. Like, whoa, like, he is that upset with me. Like, that was like the only time where I just really made him angry, and he didn't talk to me. Like, I've never gotten a silent treatment from my dad, but he pretty much gave me the silent treatment for a few days. And he said, you know what, I'm not even gonna whoop you. And that right there was mercy that I've never experienced in my life. Like, I've experienced mercy from my dad, and that is what changed my life completely. I was like, you know what, I'm tired of this. Like, I don't even know why I did this. I'm just so glad I'm not in trouble. Like, I was in trouble, but I wasn't in trouble to the point where I could have like been so injured because of my dad's anger. So, or injured is not the word I was looking for, but that was the closest word I could find. But man, like, so I started reading the word. I started really getting into the Bible after that happened. Shortly after that happened, I started reading 1 Peter. That was the first book of the Bible that I read. And I was reading in the NIV version. And ever since then, I just kept reading the Bible. And I was just so interested in what the Bible had to say. And I was like, wow, like all of these years, I was never really interested in reading the Bible because the King James Version was something that I just couldn't relate to. I couldn't relate to the King James. But I like the King James when it comes to quoting scriptures like Psalm 23 or Matthew 6:33 or something like that. But when it comes to just like daily reading, I personally don't read the King James Version. But I read the Bible at 14, and for 6 years, I just kept reading the Bible. I completed the entire Bible. I read the entire Bible at age 20. I read the entire Bible. And the funny thing was, I was hanging with my friend. I was hanging with my friend at the time, at 20. And I was like, you know what? Since we're not doing, I think it was like on the weekend, I was like, you know what? Since we're not really doing much, let's go get a drink, right? Like, let's go get some vodka, like alcohol. And I don't even know if you know what? Somebody had some vodka in the refrigerator. Some kind of way we had some, because I was 20, so we weren't old enough to buy a drink. So there was already some drink in the refrigerator. Well, funny thing is, this is a funny story, and I have to add this in here, but yeah, to make light of the whole situation. But so I was just finished reading the Bible, right? So I was like, you know what? I wanna drink. Let me go ahead and take. I don't know if I took a shot or no. I didn't take a shot. I don't even know like how much I drank, but it was no more than a cup of vodka. And I was like, okay, I'm finna drink this vodka, and I'm a just just try something different or whatever. So I drank the vodka, and I got tipsy. I got a little tipsy, and I was like, okay, that's enough for me, right? So I was like, okay, let's go outside. I was like really tipsy, but I was just like, okay, let's go outside. And I was like walking on the sidewalk, like trying to walk in a straight line, just acting stupid. And then I told my friend, I said, "Fool, guess what I just did, fool?" Because that's how I used to talk back then. Guess what I just did, fool? And she was like, "What?" I was like, "Fool, I just read the whole Bible, fool. I just read the whole Bible. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? Like, it took me 6 years to read the full Bible, but I did it, fool. I did it." And I'm like, how I'm gonna read the entire Bible and then gonna want to drink some vodka after that? Like, what in my right mind made me want to drink some vodka? Well, first of all, I wasn't in my right mind if I wanted to drink some vodka. But I guess I was just at that stage of just experimenting different things. I've never smoked. I've never gotten drunk. I've never gotten to the point where I just got drunk. I never wanted to do that because it was just not cool. And that was like the only day that I got tipsy, because I was like, this is not for me. Like, it made my stomach hurt. I'm like, this is not cool. The vodka was nasty. No thanks. So, but I just had to add that in there because it was just like, okay, how you gonna read the whole Bible, but yet you trying to drink, some vodka? Like, this does not mix. So, so yes, y'all, this is my testimony. I hope you all enjoyed it. This is something I wanted to share with everyone because it's important to share your testimony when you're ministering to people, because people need to know where you come from. They need to know how God has delivered you out of darkness. And so this is how God delivered me out of my darkness. And I'm just so thankful because at age 20 was like later that year, I I made it official with my future husband, who's now my husband today. We've been together for almost 8 years now, ever since we were 20 years old. So at age 20, it really, like, that age has really just been like a complete transformation from being single and just experimenting different things to being with my future husband at the time, that has like kept me in order. Because from age 18 to 20, I was with guys that I shouldn't have been with. Most of them weren't even, I wasn't even making it official with them. I was just with them at the time, but it was just not, just wasn't it. It just was not the right relationship. So when I was with my future husband, I was like, okay, I know that one day we're going to get married. Like, I know this is the one for me. And it was just, everything was just in order. Like everything just lined up in order. I knew that he was my future husband when I was 19, but he had a girlfriend at the time, so I had to wait a whole year and some change just to be with him, just to be friends with him again. So yeah, so this is my testimony. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you all for tuning in. Please share, like, and subscribe to my YouTube channel and Facebook. If you're on Facebook, please like and share. And yes, share your testimony if God has delivered you from darkness. Share your testimony. Please share your testimony. People need to hear what you have to say, because it helps them. It delivers them out. It helps deliver them out of their darkness. So thank you all for tuning in, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye bye.